Okay. Okay, so we finished chapter 4 just then, and now we're in another chapter 5 with that heavy a topic. Wow. Excuse me, would you happen to be Albas? And you are. We're Sarah's friends. Friends? Unfortunately, I have to inform you that Sarah doesn't have any friends. Or perhaps you misunderstood. Again, with this, beating around the bush isn't going to help. Let's just get straight to the point. We're travellers, we arrived in the city and were completely clueless, and Sarah was extremely hospitable and accommodating to us. We were incredibly grateful to her. However, it seems that her goodwill worked against her, as I hear she is being punished for her actions. The leader of this Vihead's organization that you work for is apparently going to take measures against her. I had heard about this from Rughzenhaide, so it was you that. Please, can we speak with you, even for just a moment? Sorry, but we have our own issues to deal with as well. Even if you've come to have all that in mind, this isn't a matter that can be taken lightly. About Sarah. When we first met, she had introduced herself to us as Rune. What? What did you just say? Albas's brusque expression changed in an instant. It seems that anyone deeply connected will have quite the reaction to the name Rune. Now we just need one more push. I promise you, if this matter is not your concern, then we will not press you any further. I understand that this is incredibly presumptuous of me, but I simply want to confirm a few things. I seek to have a discussion with you. Shall we pick this elsewhere then? Yes, we got it. Our lodgings is just on the outskirts of town. Is that alright with you? Just the two of you? Yes, what of it? Don't you feel that bringing a man back to your lodging at this time of night is rather careless? Careless? What makes you say that? How does being a man or woman have to do with anything? I suppose this can be chalked up to cultural differences. Regardless, the answer is no. If you want to talk, let's do so in the park in the central square. At this time of day there's still people around, and it should be much quieter than this place. Please, go ahead. I'll leave as soon as I settle the bill. Interesting. But also, yeah, they didn't realise, yeah, we're taking a man back to our hotel with two women. Well, just what was with his attitude. Selphine, what's the matter? I have a feeling that in this place's culture, women are still predominantly in a position of power. Huh? That can't be. Consider how much civilization has progressed, this is rather hard to believe. You never know. Without any craft, then a normal girl can't really beat a guy in a fight. Rughzenhaide was like that before too. A male-centered society where brute force means everything? Just how long ago was that? Still, that does explain his initial demeanour. I still can't tell whether this city is progressing or regressing. I know, certain parts of them, like, they got a lot of science and stuff, but they've got nothing to balance out all the stuff, I guess. I don't know what else to say about that. There's something on your mind? No, I just thought that it's kind of scary if that was the case. Violent cries, although seldom, still do occur in Rughzenhaide, but ones born from sexism are just about non-existent. That is true, but when even things as simple as if this have to be explained to be understood, do you think we could ever understand each other? You do have a point. However, if you come fearful from just that, the name of Rughzenhaide will be tarnished. As long as there are no major obstacles between us, I'm sure we can just talk and reach a mutual understanding. Yeah, I know. Also rubs out my theory of Rune being the ones attacking Rughzenhaide for fun. She is like, she is dead. She's guaranteed dead. Sorry to keep you waiting. Thank you for taking time to meet with us. By the way, we would advise you to talk to me about all this. We give Albas a short rundown of events till this point. I see. So it's hurt, huh? Is he doing well? Doing well? I suppose he is. If he weren't, he couldn't possibly be able to down that much alcohol. I see, that's just like him. If I may presume, does that mean it's been a while since you've last met? Yes, it's been quite a while. Let's just say, things happened. In any case, why don't we introduce ourselves properly? My name is Albas Foster. I serve as the CTO of Zyhel's enterprise. I'm Ritona, a traveller. I'm Selphine, Ritona's fellow traveller companion. It's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. Excuse me, I have an unrelated question that I was hoping you could answer. It's been bothering me since yesterday. You mentioned some sort of title, but I don't quite understand what it means. Udo also mentioned something similar. CTO is short for Chief Technological Officer. You can think of it as the person in charge of the technical side of things. I see. I think Rudo is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. In other words, he's at the topmost position of the White House enterprise. Whoa. That's a lot easier to understand now. It seems these titles serve as positions when one's introducing oneself. Chief Executive, so that's basically like the President? Well, technically not quite, but well, the nuances are the same. I see. I take it your home country doesn't have entitles such as corporations, entities as— oh my god, what the hell was wrong with me then? Wait a minute. Do forgive me for commenting, but if I'm not mistaken, you appear much older than Rudo's White House. How is it that he's allowed to wield absolute authority? You sure are straight to the point, aren't you? Well, you have a point. Rudo is a mere 22 years of age after all. 22? Just 3 years apart from me? He's just 3 years... He's just 3 years away from Ritona. With that expression of his? Amazing, isn't he? He's so much younger than I am, but he's been able to keep a company this huge running so well. So, do you mean he's the leader of a really huge organisation? That he is. In terms of sheer scale, Zyhel's is the largest on the entire outer pole. Well, then, is there some kind of ceremony for these people for them to become leaders? Ceremonies? Yes, a ceremony. Well, it's not quite a ceremony. Unless you're referring to promotion parties. Party? It's a celebratory event. Well, during our travels we've heard of this country. Whenever they choose their next ruler, a ceremony called Path Down. Using a ceremony called the Path Down, they inherit all the predecessors' memories, experiences and knowledge. It's the kind of culture wherein the descendants, the next generation, will be able to gain the qualifications they need to be the next ruler. A path down that has been continued for many generations serves to bolster the strength of that country and also shows a strong unity with the citizens. Is that true? Or someone so young to inherit such a large kingdom, well, company in this case, he has to be qualified to be, so you need a ceremony like that, right? By inheriting knowledge, can I take that to mean that they are educated and groomed by their predecessors? Educated, well, that is part of it, but it's not something as indirect. The experience and knowledge are directly transmitted. Albas tilts his head. directly transmitted, not via speaking, writing or teaching, eh? There's no such thing then. Most folk in the outer pole have to use words, speech, more concrete forms of communication to survey what we're thinking and feeling. There's no way for us to do so. It is impossible for us to directly transmit knowledge, as you say. So I suppose that in the outer pole's culture, there is no such ceremony to install leaders as you mentioned. Why do you ask? Well, that's because we're wandering around different countries, travelling to learn and study more about the world, you see. By experiencing all sorts of cultures, we like to expand our knowledge on the vastness of this world. That sounds like quite the undertaking, especially considering the world's state of affairs recently. I envy you both. If I weren't born from the outer pole, I would have loved to travel the world as well. Oh, but I digress. Let's get back to the heart of the matter. For confirmation's sake, you said that Sarah introduced herself as Rune, correct? Yes. You knew about Rune, didn't you, Albas? I did know her. We were like family up until she died. Rune and Rudo's father, Sid, we had been very good friends. Sid and I built Zweihade's enterprise from the ground up. Impressive. He's quite the influential individual. Zweihaide sure knows all sorts of people. Has been. Does that mean Sid is... He passed away about 3 years ago. Huh? But Rudo is still 22 years old. He must have still been awfully young. There's quite a long story behind that. Well, could you please tell us the relationship between Rune and Sarah? Are they one and the same? Yes. We're completely in the dark about what's going on. Please tell us more about Sarah. Just who is she? What is her real name? Her real name, eh? That name is a term we use in order to pertain to Sarah. As for whether it qualifies as a name, well, I suppose that depends on your definition of what a name is. Judging by how you're referring to her, should we take that to mean that she's really being treated as a slave? Excuse me? We are merely travellers and know nothing of the customs of this land. However, from where we come from, treating people like belongings is something that should not ever be tolerated. So right now, we cannot even hide our astonishment regarding... Oh, no. We cannot hide our astonishment regarding this state of affairs. I see. You two were born and raised in a very good country. But just to clear up any misunderstandings, I have to inform you that she is no slave. Just a few decades ago, that slavery was outlawed in this country. Although there's still some wretched folk out there who still practice it in absolute secrecy. Then that even makes less sense. Why do you refer to her as if she were an object? Precisely because she is an object. You asked about her name earlier, yes. The word Sarah is a term we use to refer to her. It means, oh boy, Fine Arts, Architecture, Review and Assessment. We took the first letters of each word from the title of the report written up when she was first constructed. But that's why it isn't technically a name. It's an acronym. What? Constructed? That doesn't make sense. Sarah was made? Sarah is a product of Zweihade's Enterprise's last president, Sid Zweihade's created to handle man-related tasks in the outer pole. Sarah is a machine. You must be joking. A machine? Although our company's Zweihade's Enterprise is well known for manner-to-energy conversion and energy supply services. Wait just a minute here. A machine? By machine you mean something like a clock? Well, it's certainly on a different dimension of complexity, but yes, in a sense I suppose I do. With all due respect, I cannot believe that. Well, I suppose most people wouldn't. Machines do not possess sentience, do they? Whoever was with us yesterday was clearly sentient and had a strong sense of self. She was aware of her surroundings, she knew right from wrong, exercised judgment, and was able to display compassion for others. Intriguing. You wouldn't happen to be acquainted with philosophy? Not really. I wouldn't say I'm on that level of familiarity. When asked on the difference between what is and isn't human, being able to go straight to questions about its perception ability is proof that one has been thoroughly educated in these matters. Your homeland truly must be rich in a variety of aspects. I'm envious. Wait, just a moment. In regards to your assertion that Sarah is a machine, all I can see is an excuse for you to treat her as you do now. I'm answering your questions, fully aware that you most likely would be in disbelief. You are free to believe me or otherwise. In fact, if I were in your place, I probably wouldn't believe it myself. Realistically speaking, there's no way to verify your... Ritona, let him speak, okay? In any case, we're both at a dead end anyway. This way we can see if he's telling the truth or not. Very well, let's continue on. So she does mean to use that then. Very well. The younger looking girl needs to hold the power in their relationship. Quite intriguing. And regardless, we still find it difficult to swallow your claim that Ruin is indeed a machine. Perfectly sensible. To be honest, much of it remains a mystery to myself as well. Albas? Yes. If you don't mind, I'd like to show you a kind of craft, if you so please. Mana craft, you say? Are you too mana crafters? Yes, we are mana crafters who come from a country far away from here. You said you were travellers, but to think you were from the inner pole. Are you sure about this? Consider where you are right now. What about mana shock? According to Ruda, we had 3 or 4 days remaining. We are showing that risk by voluntarily being here. I see. I think I have the grasp on how greatly you two view this matter. Seeing as you two are willing to indulge this, should I take it to mean that you are deadly serious about all this? It would be fair to keep one-sidedly asking you for information after all. I do appreciate the sentiment, but unfortunately I don't have the time. I'll be essentially be trapped in the office from tomorrow until next week or so, with little or no free time to spare. I still have some matters to attend to after this as well. That won't be an issue. This craft will be over in a blink of an eye. Just as this say, this craft won't take much of your time. I'm not quite sure I follow. What should I do exactly? For the meantime, all we need is your trust in us. All we wish to do is exchange information with you. If there's any information or knowledge you'd like us to impart, then we shall share it directly with you at the same time. Sharing information directly? Before we go any further, this means that you don't have any reservations with talking of us, right? Yes. Although I do have my limits. It's just that I don't have the time to explain everything in full. It's alright, you'll understand in a few minutes. Will you trust us? Okay, I trust you. Thank you very much. Alright, Ritona, could I have a little mana? Your wish is my command. Good grief, this is quite the turn of events. I can't believe I get to see mana craft performed in the flesh. Now I'm a little anxious. We'll explain further on the other side. Now, other side? She's glowing now at the moment. Selphine? Selphine had already begun converting mana. She's so concentrated on the task that she doesn't even notice my speaking anymore. There's no naturally present mana, so my internal mana isn't stabilizing. I didn't expect conversion to need this much concentration and stamina. But how did Ritona create a sword so quickly? Alright, this should do it. Selphine opens her eyes wide. It seems that she's finished her preparations. Is it me, or is her eyes more radiant than before? The sheen in her hair too, even her skin seems to be radiating a weak light. Shall we begin? Ah, yes. Excuse me for the moment. Selphine pressed her right index and middle finger together and lightly touched Albas's temples. Are you alright? It seems to be taking longer than usual, perhaps because we're in the outer pole. Yeah, it's been a while, so I'm a little nervous. No need to tense up this much. This Mattercraft isn't going to do any harm. Your body will warm a little, as if you've done some light jogging. I see. Now if you please. Bless. Understood. Wow.